Okay, hi everyone. This is mostly for the exploring computer science students. What you have to accomplish, and I'm going to try to step you through it. This will be a short video, but how to actually create your own story. This is called storyboarding for the most part, and it also helps you begin to understand how to create websites or website designs. With storyboarding, kind of like what you see in cartoons and animations, you eventually start off with different segments of the story, and then you put your story together. Well, it's a little different when you're doing computer programming in this case, because we're using block codes to set up each scene. So let's go through it slowly. 'Cause I have a lot of time, and in a moment, I'm going to open up this meeting again for students to come in physics and get some things done. But all exploring computer science students, this will be posted in robotics classes and ECS classes due to the current situation we're in. So you'll have something that you can, do in terms of credit for the final exam. So let's go through it all. Also, good note, today around 1 p.m., I'll be opening up another Zoom meeting, and it'll be recorded too. This will be the final test inside of computer programming IB, which is ECS part 2. So let me share the screen real quick. All right, so hopefully you can see this, but so far for the past couple days using Zoom has been pretty good. As you see on the screen, as you see on the screen, I'm sorry, this is what I've already created. So I'll show you this in a moment, but what I want to do is start you with the basic steps of getting into Scratch. So you start with a browser, whether you're on your tablet, some students are using like I think iPad, their cell phone, smart. From what I understand, Scratch works on Android or iPhone. And you could also, the best way is to use just a personal computer, like a laptop or a desktop. All right, so let's go through it. You start with the search page. Google's usually the favorite. Type in MIT, stands for Massachusetts Institute of Technology, then Scratch. And as you can see, it pops up with MIT Scratch. MIT developed this as a way of teaching not only high schoolers how to code, but people of all ages. So we click on Scratch, and the next thing is if you click on Create, you'll get right into creating something. It'll give you a whole, as we may say, a trestle board or a canvas where you can work on putting your block codes together, kind of like Legos. But you got to strategically put these blocks in order so that your animations, your scenes, your music, whatever the case may be, it transitions the way you want, because we're trying to create an overall story in this case, right? So let's keep going. Click create, and there's that canvas I was talking about. Okay. This video here, I'm going to play in a second, will give you a full introduction. I'm going to let that play for a moment. But give you a full, not, I'm going to say full, but a quick snippet of all the features you can do inside of Scratch. Now, mind you, they will start off with how to create a story, but you could go further and create games, you can create animations, so on and so forth. So let me just blow this up a little bit for you. Let that play.
You can make your own stories, games, and animations. Let's start by grabbing a move block. We can click the block to run it. There are many other blocks to choose from. Check out the different categories. Let's go to the sound category and grab a please sound until done block. I'll snap this onto our move block. When do we want these code blocks to?
So this is very important, because if you grab a block, just pause it there so you can see. If you grab a block and you click on it, whether on your cell phone, whatever device may be, it should allow you to see a sample or preview of what that block does. So let's continue.
Add an event block on top to start the code. I'll add the when green flag select block. You can easily reorder or delete these blocks at any time.
Now the flag is what I use a lot of cases, because what you want to do is you want to start everything up with that, I think it's called events button. this button right here, and that allows you to click this flag here and see, no matter how many blocks you got connected or strung together, what's going to actually happen. So see if there's anything else.
Add as many characters as you want to your
Right.
project and code each one. Check out the tutorials page for ideas and inspiration.
That it stole my thunder. So look, basically, I'm gonna close this down. The next thing, and you could have did this if I recycle it. We give the video back. But you could have clicked on tutorials, which is that bulb in the corner here, or tutorials here, and it'll take you to the same place. So if I click on tutorials to get you started, there's two types. There's talking tales, which is okay if you want to start that way, and then there's create a story. All right, so these are the two options you can use. I started with create a story. So let's go through the video for create a story, and then I'm gonna demonstrate mines and give you the parameters on how you will be graded and what type of story it has to be.
Or do whatever else you want. To get started, let's think about it. I'll go with the witch house. Now let's pick a sprite. I'll pick the wizard. Let's have our character say something. I'll have my character say, "Welcome to magic school." I'd like to add another character, so I'll choose another sprite. This time, I'll pick the elf. It looks like the elf isn't facing the wizard, so I'll change the way they're looking. Let's go to the costume tab and choose flip horizontal, so the costume is now flipped to face the wizard. Let's make a conversation. I'll add a say block to the elf sprite. I'll make this character say, "I'm going on a quest." Let's click the green flag to see what happens. They both speak at the same time, so let's go ahead and add a wait block before the elf speaks. I'll make this 2 seconds.
Okay. Now I know she's moving real fast, and again, you can check out this video and in there, but I really want you to pay attention to how she's putting this together. You start with, if you notice over here, a backdrop. All right, this is where you start, and you can click on stage to change those. And I just wanted to go through this slowly for you guys because it took me a little bit of time to refresh on how to do it. And once I got it done, it was cool, but it takes a little bit of patience. And mostly it should take, more 2 to 3 hours to do this. I've given this assignment the course of 2 days because I need 2 days of storyboard. But if you notice, there's different ways you can connect these blocks for the characters to do certain things. For your story, it can be 2 characters, it could be 3, where one pops up later. But let's get back to the video.
I'll add another background. This time I'll choose mountain. I'll reselect the elf sprite and go back to the coding area. Let's have the characters start at the witch house.
You see 2 start when
Wait
clicks.
4 seconds, which is how long the conversation is, and then switch to the mountain backdrop. Finally, what if we don't want the wizard to be in the mountain scene? Let's go back to the wizard sprite and add a when backdrop switches to block.
Yeah, this is
I'll
pretty
set
cool.
it to mountain and make the wizard hide. Let's try it out.
It clicks, you'll see the wizard when the scene change disappear.
That's good. Now let's replay the project. The wizard doesn't show up at all. That's because we've hidden it. So what we'll need to do is add a show block at the top of the script so that whenever someone replays the project, the wizard will show first.
Right. It resets all the code basically.
Click the green arrow to see this code again and explore what else you might add to your story.
All right. And when she says click the green arrow, she's referring to this arrow here. And you can go through and it goes even more slower as to what you're doing. The backdrop she talked about, from the mountains to the wizard shop. And then the character you're adding. Next, what you do with the flag. The flag is just a starting point. It's kind of like your play button. And of course, is your stop button. Add another character. So I'm gonna need you, you all to go through these steps. Again, our quarter's closing, I want to say Thursday, but I'm trying to finalize grades tomorrow night because we got to start posting report cards for this quarter. So with all that said, second, the demonstration I was going to show you, I started off with, and this is to show you it can be done. Every time I give you an assignment, I'm not going to give you anything more than I expect of myself that you can do yourself. Like anything I can do, I think you can do, because I'm just a human. So look at this, all right? We have, let me zoom back out. We have, this is a starting for the background. So you see here, I clicked on stage, and I got backdrops. So this is, of course, my favorite Cartesian grid system, right? And you see I got the wizard. This is one sprite. This is another sprite. So this wizard is going to play the role of me. And this sprite here is going to play the role of a student, right? I got, I think, 3 backdrops. I don't know if I use all 3, but I got a spaceship, chalkboard, and these are areas where you can also include sound inside the backdrops. Like I have this guarding effect going on in one backdrop. I come here, I think I recorded this myself, one of these or 2. So what are we working on? Well, I started, you change the backdrop back to what it started with. Started with the wizard here. And if you click on the sprite, because it starts with just one wizard, it's like a little cat. It's kind of like this or something, right? And I removed that and put the wizard in there because I wanted to make it very similar to the video you watch. We scroll over a little bit, you notice, can I zoom this down? That's a little better. You'll notice, I don't know if you can see that, I started with a when the flag is clicked, this flag here, it'll say this to the, this sprite will say this, but it's not saying it's going to be like a little text bubble or something. Next, you're going to play sound. I just wanted some sound because I'm about to make something happen, a transition sound. So you got the magic spell, and that's an actual sound bite that you can go through the sounds feature and plug in. After that, I wanted the backdrop to switch. So I'm switching to spaceship. If you remember, spaceship was inside of my stage area. If you notice here, I got 3 backdrops, so it's just waiting. When you're selecting these backdrops, or stages, you gotta pre-select them in advance before they show up in your motion, your sound, events, any of those controls. It has to already be selected. So you kind of gotta know, like I said, if you can, get some paper and draw out scene by scene what you want to happen. Then begin programming it. That's kind of what I had to do. I had to sit down, make like a comic book, different types of storyboards to make the story come to life. So next, I had a sound. This sound is me actually speaking. I had to record that, and you can do that from the sounds feature here. Afterwards, there was another sound I made, and this is like waiting 32 seconds for this sprite to say something. Now, these is all the things I programmed for the student sprite. And this, when I click on the wizard, is all the things I programmed for the wizard sprite. So this is why it's the final exam, because even though you're making a story and it seems so trivial and so just normal, there are certain block steps that you have to put together to make the sprite move, to make the sprite talk, or even have a text bubble, changing scenes. So all of these are in here. To be honest with you, the only real variables you're going to use is motion, its blocks, looks, sound, events, and control. Sensing operators, variables, and my blocks, that's when you get a little more advanced, right? You want to, for my blocks, you put in so many different blocks and you'll put it inside one block and it'll work as a chunk of code. That's for some advanced programmers. But right now, because the quarter's ending, I just need a 2-day story, okay? And the 2-day story is going to be about what you did during this pandemic. How did you survive? What did you talk to family members about? A 2-day type of story. And your story in duration should last, I'm going to say, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. And it, and I'm being very generous with that because it could last, like a real motion picture. So let's look at this. I got the magic spell. I got my switch back to chalkboard. How about we just see how this works, okay? And I did this and I tested it yesterday before I laid down, and now I'm up and trying to get this out to you guys because we're coming towards the end. So let's see how it works. Make sure the sound is up. That's the sound I programmed. Okay. Maybe I should stop it and blow it up. Hold on. So let's do this. There we go. And this is what I'm gonna be asking for. If you can record what you did, no story should be the same. So no students might try to send me the same story that one student creatively came up with. Please don't do that. That's the quickest way to get an F. But you can come onto a Zoom meeting tomorrow, hopefully. I'll host one around probably 4:35. And basically you can show me your Zoom sketches or your Zoom storyboarding. And here's I'm sorry, not Zoom, but Scratch storyboarding. So here's what I did again, but on a bigger view. You just pay attention to what's happening in the screen. I programmed that. That's one of the blocks I showed you. Okay, that's another program, a block.
This is a test of how you can do storyboarding. As you can see, the first few blocks, I set the wizard up in an XY grid, said hello to you guys. And this part is going to be where I actually introduce sound. And it's going to let you know you can use a microphone on your cell phone or your laptop to incorporate sound. All right. Now, this will be true for when you create your stories. You might have some background music if depends on how far you want to go. All right. So this is the first soundbite. Where are we? So that's a great question. Right now, we went from the XY grid backdrop, and I switched it just currently to the spaceship backdrop. This is all of the power of block coding that you're going to be doing in exploring computer science. So let's see if we can change the backdrop once more and then see what you can do.
Right. So that was the end of the program for me, but I'm expecting a lot more from you guys. Like I said, you can put multiple characters in there. If you, the minimum is at least 2, so you can have a dialogue or an exchange. But honestly, you can put different family members inside of it and have them flash in and flash out to have certain conversations. This is really something I want you to do with your parents, friends, and family at home while we're at this stay-at-home order, you know. So get some ideas from them, and over 2 days, come up with using the blocks and setting them up a story that is very interesting about what you had to do. This is your final exam, all right? So I'm about to post this video. Look in robotics for robotic students. This is an advantage for you. And also ECS students. This is the main one for you guys because you're programmers, you're coders, all right? So if you got questions, concerns, or you just need me to log in with you and use Zoom to see what you're doing and help you through it, we're here, you know, our teachers from, I want to say, what, 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. to, I forget what it is, 4 p.m. or something like that. Just like we would if we was in the school. But at this point, you know, we're just all virtual. All right, so stay safe out there. Zen, which means the best understanding of peace and understanding. And, you know, just reach out to me if you have questions, okay? Hope to hear from you all soon. Remember, we are coming toward the end of Q3. That is April, I want to say 15th in my book, which is tomorrow. April 16th, the quarter officially ends. So you guys got from now, I want to say until, man, tomorrow evening to get this 2-day story done. Take your time, put the blocks together. I can't give you solutions, but I can give you hints from time to time. All right? Peace.